February 26th, 2023. Rachel, I hope that you're well and safe, and that the hyperdimensional fragmentation hasn't been too difficult to adapt to. I know that inside the filaments, one can experience some forms of dissociation that are very disorienting. For my listeners, dissociation is a separation that people experience. It can be a separation from one's identity, for example, as it is replaced by a different identity. A separation from one's body, from one's senses, or from one's memories. Remember that time when I confused myself with you, and you confused yourself with me, Rachel? That was a type of dissociation, but one that most people never experience. One time a man was picked up by the police in India when he was found wandering the streets. The police questioned him and he couldn't provide answers about who he was or what he was doing there. He also wasn't carrying an ID, phone, or anything that would help identify him. Where did this man come from? Was he abducted by Lou Elizondo? The police took him to the hospital and he was admitted there for a while until he could be identified. He had no brain injury and no signs of schizophrenia, and he denied having a history of drug use. He underwent therapy and started doing work for the hospital. Unable to find out who this man was, where he came from, or why he might have forgotten who he was, doctors attempted recovering his lost memories using hypnosis. They gave him a drug called pentothal, which causes a person to go into a hypnotic state almost immediately. He was able to vaguely recall that he had children, but not much else. Some time passed, and this same pentothal treatment was used again. This time the man was able to reveal his name. He also said that some 6 months before, his wife left with another man, abandoning their children. The man was a street seller, selling bangles just to scrape by. He expressed his inadequacy as a father, because he was unable to support his children. His brother was located, and it was discovered that this was not the first time that this had happened. Twice before, this unfortunate bangle seller was found wandering with no memory of who he was or how he got there. It's interesting to me that hypnosis appears to have been used to recover memories in this case. As you know, Rachel, and as is well established by psychological research, memories can easily be altered and even created entirely from whole cloth, just by telling someone something. The research of psychologists like Elizabeth Loftus has demonstrated that one does not even need to be hypnotized in order to be made to fabricate a memory. This is important to psychologists because beginning in the 1970s, many therapists began using hypnosis to recover traumatic memories, such as childhood sexual assault and alien abductions. But it was later discovered after many years of criminal investigations and court hearings that memories supposedly recovered in this way were often not real. Indeed, some former patients of therapists that used this technique later came to realize that their therapists actually caused their traumatic memories and the stressful nightmares and other symptoms resulting from them. According to psychologist Richard McNally, children do not repress traumatic memories, but for various reasons it can appear this way. People may dissociate during a traumatic event, for example, or they may recall only specific aspects of a traumatic event. They may only recall a traumatic event long after it actually occurred, but not actually during therapy. McNally also discusses something called psychogenic amnesia, which is also called dissociative amnesia. He stresses that psychogenic amnesia is not the same as repressed traumatic memories. Psychogenic amnesia is where a person forgets major parts of their life, such as the events of their past or who they are. This does usually follow some traumatic or stressful event, though not always, and it also doesn't usually last for very long. The causes are not really understood, so it's not clear if dissociative amnesia actually arises because of the mind or because of something in the body, like chemicals in the brain or something. The Diagnostic Statistic Manual is a book published by the American Psychiatric Association. It's used by licensed psychologists and psychiatrists in America to diagnose mental health disorders. The most current edition of this book treats a fugue state as a type of dissociative amnesia. A fugue state, or dissociative fugue, is when a person not only forgets their memory, but they wander away from their previous lives, sometimes to start a new one. The Indian Bengal seller in the case above was diagnosed with a dissociative fugue state. So to summarize, sometimes people end up forgetting who they are, along with important events in their lives. For some people, this happens repeatedly. People will even abandon their former lives once they forget about them, and find themselves starting a completely new life, and this is called a dissociative fugue. Apparently, in the case of the Bengal seller, using hypnosis to help recall lost memories sometimes actually works. This case also follows the pattern that dissociative amnesia usually happens after a traumatic event or stressful event. But how and why people lose their memories in this way has never been explained. Perhaps, in some subtle and complex way, it really is Lou Elizondo up to his old tricks. I don't know, Rachel. Humans are funny and mysterious creatures who live in a funny and mysterious world. I feel like I'm dissociating just thinking about it. Who am I kidding? What with this camera obscura of a headspace that I currently find myself in? So let's just leave it at that for now. Please take care of yourself out there. The greater bog can do funny things to a hyperdimensional being. I'm Telesma Blue Orb, and this is my diary. P.S. to all my lovely listeners, thank you so much for listening. I am not an expert in the topics discussed. Please see the references in the episode script, which is linked in the description. The entries for all dates can be found in the document outline. Please also press the subscribe button for more of my personal diary, and share this personal diary with your friends. Telesma Blue Orb's Earth Love Diary, copyright 2023, by Telesma Blue Orb and Rachel Nelson. All rights reserved. Peace.